Welcome to Middle Age Runner. I'm Amit. Alright, you've decided to do it. You're getting back in shape. You've got the new shoes, your motivation is sky high, and you walk into the gym or just out of your front door, ready to feel like you're 20 again. You crush that first week, you're sore, sure, but it's a good sore. The second week, you push a little harder, and then it happens. The sharp twinge in your knee, or a lunge, a sudden grab in your lower back when you pick up a weight, a searing pain in your shoulder that definitely wasn't there yesterday. And just like that, you're sidelined. All that awesome momentum gone, replaced by frustration, pain, and that demoralizing thought that maybe you're just too old for this. But what if I told you that injury probably had nothing to do with your age, and it wasn't because of your form what was a little off, or because you picked the wrong exercise? The real culprit is critical yet invisible. Mismatch. It's a concept that once you get it will fundamentally change how you approach fitness forever, making you stronger, more resilient, and practically injury-proof. And it all boils down to a simple battle happening inside your body, the battle between load and capacity. The single biggest mistake people make getting back into fitness over 40 is getting a massive gap between what they ask their body to do and what their body is actually prepared to do. In exercise science, this is load versus capacity model, and it's one of the most game-changing ideas for injury prevention. Think of it like your body's capacity is a bucket. Everything that adds stress to your body, your workout, a bad night's sleep, a stressful day at work, poor nutrition, pours into that bucket. The load is the total amount of stuff you're pouring in, and your capacity. That's the size of your bucket. When you're younger, you tend to have a bigger bucket. Your recovery is faster, your tissues are more resilient, and you can handle a ton load without much thought. But after 40, especially if you've been sedentary for a while, your bucket might be smaller than it used to be. The mistake isn't having a smaller bucket. The mistake is pouring a giant barrel unload of load into it, thinking it's the same size it was 20 years ago. When the load you apply exceeds the capacity, your bucket has to handle it. The bucket overflows. The overflow isn't just water, it's pain, inflammation, a pulled muscle, a strained tendon, or a flared up joint. This simple mismatch is beyond the vast majority of non-contact training injuries. So the goal of smart training isn't just to pile on more load. The real goal is to intelligently manage the load while you systematically gradually build a bigger bucket. So what's the big deal about turning 40 that makes us more susceptible to load versus capacity problem? It's not that your body suddenly becomes fragile. It's a few key psychological factors that change basically reduces your margin for error. First, your recovery ability changes. The process of repairing muscle and connective tissue just takes longer than it used to. Where you might have bounced back from a hard workout in 24 hours, you might now find you need 48 or even 72 hours. Ignoring this and stacking hard workouts too close together is a classic way to overflow that bucket. Second, our connective tissues, think tendons, ligaments, can become less elastic. Think of a brand new rubber band versus one that's been sitting in a drawer for years. The one is stretchy and resilient. The one is a bit stiffer and more likely to snap if you pull it too hard, too fast, especially when it's cold. This is exactly why a proper warm-up becomes non-negotiable. Third, there's the natural decline in muscle mass. It's a process called sarcopenia, which can start in your 30s and pick up steam after 40. Muscle is your body armor. It protects your joints, supports your skeleton and absorbs impact. When you have less of it, more of the stress from exercise gets passed on to your joints and tendons, cranking up your injury risk. Finally, life stress. It's often at an all-time high. Juggling a career, family, and finances add a significant amount of load to your bucket before you even tie your shoes for a workout. Chronic stress and elevated cortisol that comes which it can interfere with recovery and muscle repair. Now the crucial takeaway here isn't that these changes make exercise dangerous. They just make a strategic approach essential. You can't just wing it anymore. But it's also not life sentence. A well-trained 50-year-old can have as much bigger capacity than a sedentary 25-year-old. You just need a plan that respects your body, current capacity, and focuses on building back up intelligently. So how does this all go wrong in the real world? It usually happens through a few very common predictable mistakes. Mistake 1. The too much too soons. This is a classic and it's the most destructive. You go from 0 to working out 5 days a week. You double your running distance in a week. You jump into deep end with high intensity class. This is like dropping a bomb of load on your body with tiny capacity. Your enthusiasm writes a check that your body simply cannot cash. A common guideline to avoid this is increase your total weekly workload by no more than 10 to 20%. Mistake 2. Only doing cardio. So many people think hours on the treadmill are the key to health. But for injury prevention, especially after 40, this can be a huge mistake. While cardio is great for your heart, it doesn't do enough to build the capacity for handling the load. Remember, muscle is your armor. Focusing only on cardio leaves your joints and tendons vulnerable because you're not actively building the strength to protect them. Progressive strength training is the most effective tool we have to fight against age-related muscle loss. Mistake 3. Chasing extreme soreness. We've all been brainwashed by the no pain, no gain mantra. We think if you're not painfully sore, the workout didn't count. This is a dangerous lie, especially after 40. Mild soreness is normal, but severe soreness is a giant red flag that you've done way too much. It's a sign of excessive damage that your body is struggling to repair. If you're always chasing that feeling, your body is constantly in crisis mode. Never actually get the chance to adapt and get stronger. Mistake 4. Skipping the warm-up. When you're short on time, the first thing to do is go. Mistake 4. Skipping the warm-up. When you're short on time, the first thing to go is the warm-up. This is a huge mistake. A good 5 to 10 minute warm-up just isn't about gaining your head for the game. It physically preps your body for what's coming. It increases blood flow, lubricants your joints, and makes your tissues more pliable. Hitting a workout cold is asking for a pull or a strain. Mistake 5. Neglecting recovery. Recovery isn't what happens in between training. Recovery is the training. It's when your body actually gets stronger and builds a bigger bucket. The most important parts of recovery are sleep, nutrition, and rest days. Getting 7 or 9 hours of quality sleep is when your body does most of its repair work. Eating enough protein gives it the building blocks it needs. Thinking you can train hard, sleep 5 hours, and eat junk is a recipe for burnout and injury. Okay, so those are the mistakes. Before we dive into the solutions, if you're getting value out of this video, please do me a quick favor and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel and maybe share this with a friend. It really helps us create more content like this for you. Now, let's talk about the fixes. If those are the mistakes, what's the fix? The solution is to flip the script. Stop obsessing about how much load you can handle and start obsessing over how smartly you can handle and build your capacity. It all comes down to these 5 pillars. 1. Start well below your capacity and progress slowly. This is the most important principle of all. The first few weeks back shouldn't feel heroic. They should feel easy. Seriously easy. The goal isn't to test your limits, it's to establish a solid baseline. Start with 2 to 3 workouts a week, not 5. End your sets feeling like that you could have done a few more reps. This start low, go slow approach gives your body time it needs to adapt without getting overwhelmed. 2. Make strength training your foundation. Strength training is the number 1 tool for building a bigger capacity. It builds muscle to protect your joints, increases bone density, strengthens your tendons and ligaments. You don't need a bunch of complicated exercises. You just need consistency, best practice, best human movements. Squat pattern, like bodyweight squats or holding a light weight in a goblet squat. Hinge pattern, like Romanian deadlifts or bridges. A push pattern, like wall push-ups, incline push-ups, or dumbbell presses. A pull pattern, like dumbbell rows, band pull-aparts. Aim for 2 or 3 full body strength sessions every week. 3. Embrace balance and stability work. As we get older, our balance can decline, which makes us more prone to those injuries from a mishap. Weaving simple balance work into our routine is a game changer. This can be as simple as standing on one leg whilst you brush your teeth, or adding lunges, step-ups, and single leg drills into your workouts. It builds coordination and strengthens all the little stabilizer muscles that protect you. 4. Use the 80-20 approach to intensity. Not every workout should wreck you. In fact, most of them shouldn't. A smart, sustainable model is to make about 80% of your weekly training feel relatively easy to moderate. This is the work that builds your fitness base without causing too much stress. The other 20 is where you can push the intensity. This ensures you're always getting better without consistently redefining your system. 5. Master the art of active recovery. Finally, treat recovery like a skill you can master. Prioritize those 7 to 9 hours sleep. Make sure you're eating enough protein to help your muscles repair, and lean to listen to your body. On days you feel beaten down, sore, and just plain tired, don't push through. That's your body screaming that your bucket is full. Instead of a hard workout, choose active recovery, go for a light walk, do some gentle stretching, or just take a full day off. This isn't a weakness, it's smart, strategic training that keeps you in the game for decades. Biggest fitness mistake you can make over 40 has nothing to do with getting old. It's about training with an old, outdated mindset. It's the belief that you should be able to jump back in right where you left off, treating your body like a machine instead of an amazing, adaptable system it is. The real secret of getting and staying fit for the rest of your life is to ditch the go hard or go home mentality. Instead, embrace a new mantra. Start easy, progress intelligently. Your job isn't to see how much you can pour into your bucket each day. Your job is to see how big you can build your bucket over time. By managing your load, building your capacity with smart strength training, progressive gradually, and prioritizing recovery, you don't just avoid injury, you build a body that's stronger, more capable, and more resilient than you ever thought possible. And that is a goal worth training for at any age. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you fallen into any of these traps? Drop a comment below and let me know which of these mistakes hits closest to your home. Your story could really help someone else avoid the same pitfall. And of course, if this was helpful, please hit the like button and share it with a friend. And be sure to subscribe to Middle-Aged Runner so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching. I'm Amit and I'll see you on the next one.